So I'm going to be breaking this squad analysis down into two parts. In this video I'm going to briefly analyse why I think the back five and goalkeeper, even in terms of depth, is one player away, maybe two if we include a backup goalkeeper, assuming that Layman's does meet expectations, from genuinely being title challenging level. I'll come on to the midfield and front line in a separate video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel for that. So Manchester United's players are not terrible, they just aren't. It's a myth, just negativity spread by Manager FC. I mean, the goalkeeper was an issue, but pretending that every tactical issue stems solely from the goalkeeper is borderline retarded at this point, because it's obviously not. In the Premier League, yes, of course, you've got the diabolical goal that Bayern conceded versus Arsenal, but that's one point, and it's an isolated moment, and we didn't even create a clear-cut chance in that game. Bruno missed a penalty, yes, against Fulham, but we got that penalty from what Bassi did to Mount inside of the box, and we were fortunate that Euro's goal didn't get ruled out for a similar thing. And so in terms of pure goals, that kind of cancels that one out. But even still, it's irrelevant. I don't know why people are talking about this in regard to tactical issues. It's literally irrelevant to any of the issues that I've specified in previous analysis. It's all just very low level, simply just looking at the goal highlights. But in terms of the individual ability of each player, we've now got Layman's in goal, which solves that Onana problem. Very promising. I still expect him to make a mistake here and there, as he is a bit shaky when commanding his box sometimes, but this also applies to other goalkeepers as well, and other managers. Look at Emi Martinez for Unai Emery at Villa last season, James Trafford this season with Pep, Sanchez for Maresca last season, and Ramsdale with Arteta the other year as well. But the back three in particular is where I think we are incredibly strong, and I think you can see it clearly when we compare player for player with Antonio Conte's 16-17 title-winning Chelsea side. But before I get into that, if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. They've got the new Manchester United releases for the upcoming season, with OK Jersey also allowing you to pick up high quality football shirts from just £15, plus free shipping across Europe for all orders over £45. They sent me over these new release alternative Manchester United jerseys from this season, as well as a long sleeved retro home shirt from the 92-93 season with Cantona 7 on the back, alongside this Nuno Gomez Benfica shirt from the 97-98 season as well. If you use code ATLANTIS at checkout you'll get a discount, so I'll leave a link in the description and in the comment section below. So Antonio Conte won a league title with a back three of Azpilicueta, David Luiz and Gary Cahill. I would say that Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez are better than Cahill was at that point, certainly offensively as left-sided centre-backs. It was also Azpilicueta's first season as a right-sided centre-back, having not played that role throughout the pre-season either, so Yoro and Mazraoui as a pair, with Dalot also capable of being used there, even De Ligt as well, surely has to be considered stronger. And whilst David Luiz was incredible in possession, he was more than a liability from a defensive point of view, and De Ligt and Maguire have shown that they can be very good in possession as well. Harry Maguire especially with those long passes from deep positions in the middle third, and whilst De Ligt does need to improve his all-round technical game, we've seen in the first 3 games of this season numerous times where he's been able to receive a pass to his feet on the edge of the box under pressure and bounce it out to Yoro as the right-sided centre-back, bypassing the pressure. And defensively, whilst Maguire does struggle in high defensive lines, he is very good in certain games where we are sitting deeper, dominant aerially in both boxes, both offensively and defensively, with De Ligt also showing his physical and aerial dominance so far this season. And overall, but particularly defensively, I think you'd have to say that De Ligt is one of the best centre-backs in the league. And even just comparatively to other teams in the league, I would 100% argue that our starting back three is good enough to at least challenge for a title, but add on our depth, and I really don't see how anyone could claim that this isn't good enough to be finishing in the top 4, top 5 minimum. Now when it comes to the wing backs, I still think the narrative is completely wrong. On the right side, Ahmad as the offensive left-footed option and Dalot as the more conservative versatile backup option, with Mazraoui and Mbeumo also being capable of filling in there fairly competently, at least for a short period of time, depending on the context of the game. And that's not even mentioning someone like Bendito Mantato. I just can't see how the right side is an issue. No, Dalot is not shit. Anyone who says this is just getting their opinions from social media, or more likely is just deflecting for the manager, because it's just simply not true. Because if it is true, what on earth are these standards and why doesn't it apply to the manager? Dalot is not even a wing back. And even if he was shit, Amorim's the one who's picking him, so it would still be the manager's fault anyway. He's not shit, he's essentially a John O'Shea versatile option in the squad. He's not even a regular starter anyway when everyone's fit, and as he showed against Burnley, he's capable of doing a job even in a position that isn't his natural, and putting in a solid 6 to 7 out of 10 performance. People were saying he was at fault for the Burnley goal. No, he absolutely wasn't. This is clearly an example of people not actually watching the whole game, just watching clips on social media and then just over-exaggerating stuff. Because if anyone was at fault individually, it's going to be De Ligt for not holding that wider area until the play was switched to the other side. There's no way Dalot can make up that ground to block the cross. It's just disingenuous at this point. Dalot was our best player in 23-24, but Manager FC need a scapegoat, they don't really support the team, and so I guess all the issues have to come down to the versatile backup option who's really a fullback playing out of position on his weaker side. It's just nonsense to keep blaming Dalot. Said the same nonsense about Ten Hag, and Ten Hag's gone in about 3 games at Bayer Leverkusen, which must make all of the Ten Hag cult members who are blaming the players feel pretty stupid at the moment. I mean, if Dalot is an issue as a backup right wing back, who can also be used from either side, even as a right-sided centre-back, a right-back as well in a back 4, then surely Dorgu is more of an issue as a starter. I mean, from the left wing-back position this season, Dalot without doubt has had the best game in that role. In terms of end product in the final third, certainly. Yet Dorgu receives not even half the criticism, which is only because he signed in January, which means he's probably got another 6 months before it's his turn to be the scapegoat. Dorgu's end product is a concern, particularly as a left wing-back. But people seem to not have any nuance at all. It's either black or white, he's either good at everything or he's shit and he needs to go. But you can't really take anyone seriously who doesn't have any nuance in their opinion. He's very good as a ball carrier and a momentum dribbler through the middle third when there's space ahead of him, particularly in the transition or from a switch of play, but his still crossing ability isn't even that much better than Dalot on his left foot on that side, far too frequently failing to beat the first centre-back at the near post, or just over-hitting his cross, and that has to come down to both Manchester United's recruitment team as well as Ruben Amorim's profiling of players, not Dorgu himself. We've signed a striker in Sesko who is about as aerially dominant as you could want, yet on our left side we haven't invested in an elite level crosser, which is such a missed opportunity. One of Teo, McNeil or Diego Moreira would have been a perfect offensive option alongside Dorgu. Diego Leon was never going to be ready. I don't know why people were so insistent on that, because watching him play, both in Paraguay and in pre-season, you could still see that he had massive defensive issues that he had to work on before the Premier League. And so Dalot was always going to be the alternative option. And so apart from the left wing back position, the other 4 positions across the back 5 to me are without doubt good enough to challenge for a title. You don't need elite level players in every single starting and backup position. Just look at former players like John O'Shea, Tsimikas at Liverpool, Zinchenko at Arsenal, Tomiyasu, Sergio Gomez, Rico Lewis in his first senior season. There are numerous examples of these type of squad players. The left wing-back position we should have without doubt improved defensively this summer, but this is the type of situation where Amorim needs to start showing some creative thinking. Luke Shaw can be used as a left wing-back if needed, with Heaven or Martinez behind. Dalot can do a job as an overlapping wing-back, but he's certainly not ideal. But if he did have to be used there for a sustained period of the season, I think Amorim could use him more as an inverted wing-back, because he is naturally more of an inverted full-back than an overlapping one, actually being incredibly underrated press resistance-wise when receiving the ball in central areas under pressure and progressing the ball via incisive passes between the lines. Capable of being the sort of tactical cog that can provide the defensive stability to allow more offensive movements for the players around him, shifting infield to the edge of the box during the build-up phase, either from a set starting position or starting wide and moving infield horizontally off the back of the opposition's left-sided midfielder, looking to receive the ball in the space created by the deeper movement of the midfield double pivot, dragging the opposition's midfield line high and stretching the players in order to open up passing lanes, whilst Dalot can also provide added defensive security and technical ability when shifting infield into the middle third, potentially being useful to allow one of Bruno Fernandes or Mainu in the midfield double pivot greater freedom to either drift out wide or push up vertically between the lines, with someone like Mason Mount or Cunha, or maybe even Mbumo or Ahmad, if either one of those two was used on the left, being the players to hold the advance width in the middle third rather than the wing back. Dalot isn't even really a right wing back, let alone a left wing back, and that's why we should have brought one in this summer. But people who keep saying that Dalot is awful and he's the reason why we aren't succeeding, it's just complete Manager FC brain rot ball knowledge, desperately trying to scapegoat players in order to defend the manager from minor tactical criticism. I mean, they said the same about Dalot last season, but in 23-24, he was one of our most consistent players. Yet despite him being the issue with Ten Hag's now been sacked after 3 games at Leverkusen, proving the narrative around it not being Ten Hag's tactical setup, and instead being solely down to the players, as complete rubbish. We aren't pretending everyone is shit because Manager FC have emotional outbursts at minor criticism. I mean, that's the definition of toxic negativity, because the squad is not shit at all. Anyone who tells you otherwise is just talking complete rubbish. The back line is definitely a Champions League level back line at bare minimum, and in the right system, in the right roles, they are definitely capable of being title challenging quality. So let me know what you think about the quality of the back 5 and goalkeeper in the comment section below, and if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a discount. I'll leave a link in the description and in the comment section below.